I live in Deerfield Beach. I work in Deerfield Beach, and we have an expression here in Deerfield Beach. It's a great place to work and a great place to live. The fact that economic times being what they are, we're happy to see so many alert and pleasurable faces in the room this morning. I want to thank the mayor for coming this morning. Joe Miller is actually my commissioner from where I reside here in Deerfield Beach. And just let me say that I am happy that not only the mayor and the city manager and all of her staff are so accessible. It's the reason why we're able to get so much done in Deerfield Beach for the residents. So we look forward not so much of our past accomplishments, but we really look forward to the future of building up the business base here in Deerfield Beach, but also it's a great place to live. So we're not just a beach, we're a lot more. Right now what I'd like to do is I'd like to have Michael DeGeorges come up and speak. He's a representative of Food for the Poor. A business group really to do more business. There's plenty of those around. What we're trying to do is build a business group that not only allows you to network with a lot of different people and a lot of different businesses, but also as a group be able to benefit and do good deeds. So one of the things that the South Florida LinkedIn Professionals is doing is we've gotten together and we are building a home in Jamaica through Food for the Poor, and we're about a third of the way there with our goal. Michael's going to speak to that. Michael DeGeorges.
I might have needed the microphone. Can you all hear me? Yeah. I'll keep it short, but Food for the Poor has been around for 30 years. It's in Coconut Creek, Florida, over here on Lions Boulevard. And we've served the Caribbean and Latin America. And we provide food solutions, hopefully agriculture, fishing villages, water, micro-enterprise, housing, and schools. And what Frank and South Florida LinkedIn has done has been to raise a house, to give a roof to a family that doesn't have a roof right now and give them a new start in life. You know, I'm aware of the situation here in America and the difficult economic times that we're facing, and it's a terrible thing to be out of work. I think it's a terrible thing to be poor in America. I think one of the differences in the countries that we serve, especially Jamaica, is they just had an election which was actually quite violent. The Socialist Party got in. It's a very challenging country. Before I came to Food for the Poor, I thought of Jamaica as the place where Bob Marley came from, and that was about it. Now, after going there, I realized that it's a very violent country. It's run by godfathers and dons and people who distribute drugs, and that's about all the choice that you have in Jamaica, unless you're in the vacation business. And unfortunately, because of the economy, there's a saying, when America sneezes, Jamaica catches a cold. And that's the situation right now, is they're suffering economically because of what's going on. One of the examples, one of the family that hopefully we are going to help, that we've identified to help, I visited with that family in Jamaica. It's a terrible situation, and the government does not have a net to help them. They have no food stamps, they have no vouchers for school, they have nothing. This woman, her name is Grace, she isn't all together in the head. She's had a lot of trouble, and she might be suffering from post-traumatic stress disorder. Her husband left, her 15-year-old daughter was on her way to school, her daughter was raped on the way home. She's now pregnant, so they're going to have another child in the house, and then her son is mentally challenged. So she's got a lot of trouble, and what she lives in is basically a zinc hut. It's just a couple of pieces of zinc garbage put together, and she lives on top of a graveyard. If you go in the backyard, you'll see all the graves and everything that are there. And she's very happy, she's very thankful to God, but she needs help. She desperately needs a roof over the head because right now when it rains, it pours inside the house so that the beds are wet, there's mud everywhere, and her children can't go to school. With what you're doing, you're a third of the way there, which is phenomenal. What you're doing is you're going to give them a roof, a place where they can lock the door so that she can go out and get a job, a place where it won't rain and they won't get soaked. And then we're also going to give them a new start in life in that we're going to give her a job, find a job for her, as well as put the children into school that speaks to their issues. You know, if they're handicapped or they are handicapped, we'll be able to put them in the proper school. The difference being is in Jamaica, you won't go to school if you don't have money. You have to pay for school. You don't go to school if you don't have supplies. You pay for your supplies. You don't go to school if you don't have uniforms. You have to pay for your uniforms. So what you're doing by contributing to this is actually giving them literally a new start in life. They'll be able to get jobs, schooling, etc., etc., etc. And what I have seen, and I can say this from experience, is people in Jamaica who go to school tend not to be a drain on society. They tend not to go into drugs. They tend not to want to sell drugs. They tend to help the country. They tend to help the government. They tend to help society as a whole. So if you give them a home, they go to school, they improve the society, the government improves, the country as a whole improves. And I think what we're starting to see in our world is that we're much smaller than we thought. So if one country does better, it has a tendency to help the whole world. And that's what we're trying to do, is just help one family at a time. So what you're doing by helping just one single family is a blessing, and I appreciate it. I appreciate Frank giving me the opportunity to do this. I know it's off of our shores, but it's not that far away. But truthfully, if you give these people a roof over their head and a chance to go to school and a job, you'd be doing something more than God could say. So I appreciate the time that you give me. I appreciate your financial support, and I appreciate you listening to me. And if there's any questions, we're on the web. There's a website that we have that you can contribute to. Any questions, I'll be here for a little while. I have my cards. You're welcome to come visit Food for the Poor anytime. Ask for my name and I'll gladly give you a tour. There are pictures of all the people that we serve and all the trips that we've taken all over. So we're quite close over here, so you can come visit us anytime. But if you have any questions, please feel free to come by. I'm Michael DeGeorges, and I'll have my business cards over here. So thank you.